So with Netflix's Cowboy Bebop coming out last week, the fans and the critics are pretty much on the same page. And from what I've seen of the show so far, it's just terrible. It's an absolute shit show. It's just a mess. But there's a couple of things I want to get to, so we'll start with this. So you've had Daniela Pineda, who plays Faye Valentine. She's come out and basically talked about a video that she put out. Basically just being a cow towards fans. As you do when you're trying to sell someone on something, you just become a dickhead. For whatever reason, but you've got people like this dotted all over Hollywood. They find it impossible to just keep their mouth shut, which is always the easiest thing to do. And a lot of it comes down to them not just realising that, yeah, see your fans, they're the customers. They're the people that pay for things. So that's why it never works the way you want it to when you basically just treat the fans like idiots. That no good comes of that. I mean, because if you look at the other side of it, you also had John Cho. People were criticising him because he was older. Did he come out and start having a go at the fans? No, he didn't. Because that's not professional. And that's a lot of they just can't, a lot of them just, they haven't got the ability to do that anymore. They always think the best way to go is, no, I'm going to be a dickhead. But according to Daniela Pineda, the actress who portrays Faye Valentine in the largely unwanted live-action Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, the criticisms against the changes made to her character were nothing but the work of very, very vocal trolls. So, someone criticises you, now they're trolls. Well, her derisive video response to said critics was definitely in the spirit of Faye. From what I've seen in the show, she doesn't come across as like Faye. From what I haven't seen all of the anime, but what you get from Faye, yeah, she doesn't really portray it that well. Pineda broached the subject of her infamous video response in which she replied to fan concerns by sarcastically dismissing their apprehensions. Asked by reporter Alexandra Del Rosario for her thoughts on the overwhelming rejection of Netflix's disingenuously reasoned, desexualized take on Faye by longtime fans of the original Cowboy Bebop anime, Pineda asserted it was definitely my first interaction with very, very vocal trolls. That must have been your first interaction with fans. Again, this is a thing that it's like, yeah, you're going to get a couple of people that may be trolls, but the majority of people are fans. They care about it. So when you change something about it, people are going to get upset. That's just what's going to happen. We've all got one thing that we really give a shit about. And that's just what they fail to... They just can't understand why people care about something as much as they do. But she says, social media gives access to pretty much anyone who wants to say anything, including you, but you should add like a publicist or something. I don't know what happened to publicists. The people that just come and say, well, you shouldn't say that because that's going to piss people off and people might not turn up for the show you're trying to get people to watch. Although I feel like some people would be disheartened, I found a way to clap back with that video that I gave, which was very cheeky and silly. No, it came across a bit passive-aggressive. Rather than stay quiet, which is usually what everybody wants you to do. Yeah, there's a reason for that. It's called being professional. You know, they need to start realising that the business they're in, it's no different from customer service in a shop. If I go and complain to the manager and he starts being a dickhead, how is that going to get me to keep bringing business his way? So it works the same thing. So that's why people tell you don't say anything, because we're trying to fucking sell a product. Pointing to the praise Pineda received by supporters following the sharing of her video, Del Rosario, fucking hell, I don't know what your name is, noted that it must have been a nice thing to see on your end, to which the actress affirmed it was really affirming and awesome. The majority of responses and interactions that I have had were really supportive. It was just easy to see that, but if you love that type of attitude in a cartoon, why wouldn't you love that type of attitude in real life? I think that was pretty awesome. I think also highly untraditional. I know because most people go, here's some customer service. It's not fucking difficult to understand. Because for me, if I was in that position, I'd just go, well, they're not happy with it, so hopefully I did my best with the show. I'm not going to piss them off because then they're not going to watch it. Ultimately, Pineda concluded, I don't even think about it when I was doing it until after the fact. I also was not expecting that to get any attention at all. That's why you put it on Instagram. You put it on Instagram, it's like, of course it's going to get attention. You're in a beloved show. Of course people are going to be paying attention to you. The fact is, she just couldn't handle the criticism. That's why she got all passive-aggressive and put out a video on Instagram. Whereas, like I said, John Cho got loads of criticism. Did he come out and start being a dickhead? No, he didn't. I don't know why they don't take that route. I think it's just these certain people in Hollywood have never faced any criticism. So as soon as they get a bit, they can't hack it. And the second thing I want to get to, which this will probably piss people off, Cowboy Bebop's Mason Alexander Park on Grens New Journey and righting the wrongs of the anime. Because apparently the anime was very, very problematic. But I mean, I think it goes to show that they were too busy trying to right the wrongs, whatever they may be, rather than being good at storytelling. But she goes into, like, playing Gren, non-binary and all that sort of shit. Representation, the usual. But this is the question that she gets. Given that the character was simultaneously groundbreaking and yet also a bit problematic back in the day, did you feel any apprehension approaching this updated version of Gren? It felt necessary to me, it felt important to me as an artist, actor, as a non-binary person. It felt important to get it right, and to get it right for the representation aspect of it, and the storytelling aspect of the storytelling is shit. As opposed to just for the optics of, like, are people going to think that this is faithful to the original or not? I think that Andre Nemec, our showrunner, and I were more concerned with Gren as an individual and how Gren's story will affect a new generation of the alphabet youth. We wanted to make sure that it was an opportunity to right some of the uncomfortable wrongs of a film like The Crying Game that Gren's entire track is sort of based on, and then plus writing some of the issues in the anime. I'm really proud of what we did. I'm really excited to share that with people. Like I said, it's shit. It's absolute shit. And I'm excited for people to have both versions that exist, because that is the beauty of adaptation. Our version of the show in no way replaces it. Yeah, you got that right. Or the original context. It just creates an opportunity to do something a little new and a little fresh. And like I said, from what I'm seeing in the show at the moment, it doesn't. I'm going to save it for a video, really, anyway. I'm like halfway through it, so hopefully I should have something done for like the Morrow or Wednesday or something. But this sort of thing always comes as it's like an ego thing. It's like, oh, well, we're righting the wrongs of the anime because we're such good people. So it always comes across as this big-headedness that, well, actually, we're going to fix the show because the show was problematic back in the day. But I suppose this is just always the thing with adaptations from like 20, 30 years ago. It's always, well, we've got to fix it because that guy that made that show, problematic. But you're definitely not missing anything on this show. You're not missing out on anything. There's literally nothing there. I can't point to anything that's been good in it at the moment. It's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. And when it comes to Daniela Pineda, she just didn't do it any favors by just basically having a little meltdown at fans. But I mean, what are we expecting in this day and age? It's pretty much anything they take from the past. It's like they just misunderstand it, maybe. I think a lot of it comes down to that they just don't take it seriously. I think the other one that people are hating at the moment's The Wheel of Time. That's meant to be another absolute shit show. But they just can't. It's just this thing with, like, they can't seem to get anime right. That's usually what a lot of people say, but it can be done. But that's all I've got to say on that anyway. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.